Athletes using dope to get a competitive edge in sports is nothing new. Eating and training right can only get you so far. And at the Olympic Games, the biggest competition in the world, there have been too many cases of athletes using drugs to get ahead of their other competitors. That's why in this video, we're going to talk about some of the biggest dope scandals in the Olympics. First off, we've got Sun Yang in the Tokyo Olympics. The Chinese swimmer Sun Yang was involved in the most well-known case of using trimetazidine to cheat in sports. In 2014, Sun was banned for 3 months because he used the stimulant. China's anti-doping agency made the decision public only after the ban was over. This was a controversial choice. Then in 2018, the 3-time Olympic champion wouldn't let anti-doping officials leave his house with a sample of his blood. Apparently, he told someone in his group to smash the casing of a blood vial with a hammer so that it couldn't be used for testing. Yikes. He couldn't take part in the Tokyo Olympics, so he couldn't defend his 200-meter freestyle Olympic title. Up next, Ben Johnson in the 1988 Olympics. You might have vaguely heard of this one. Ben Johnson, a Canadian sprinter, was at the center of what's probably the most famous drug incident in Olympic history. It ruined the 100-meter dash, which is one of the most popular events at the Summer Games. The athlete seemed to win the race at the Seoul Olympics in world record time, but he came back positive for an anabolic steroid and lost his gold medal. If that wasn't bad enough already, it went to Carl Lewis, an American who was also in the race. Nothing sucks as much as having your medal go to your competition. The head of the International Olympic Committee at the time, Juan Antonio Samaranch, said that the punishments given to Johnson and others showed that we have won the battle against doping. Moving on to Luisa Galiulina in 2012. Luisa Galiulina was a gymnast from Uzbekistan. In 2012, she was going to go to the Summer Olympics in London for the second time. Sadly, that opportunity never came. She was temporarily banned from the Games after she tested positive for furosemide. That's a diuretic that's supposed to be a masking agent or weight loss supplement. She tried defending herself by saying that she didn't know she'd taken the substance and that her mother had given her heart medicine a month before. That's because furosemide is also used to treat heart failure or high blood pressure. But because of the ban, she wasn't able to compete in an artistic gymnastics event. When her backup sample also came back positive a few days later, she was kicked out of the Olympic Village and given a 2-year ban, followed by Marion Jones in 2000. In 2003, there was an investigation into the Bay Area lab, which apparently sold steroids to a bunch of famous athletes. That's where the rumor started that American sprinter Marion Jones used drugs to improve her performance. But it wasn't until 2007 that Jones said she'd used the Clear, that's a designer steroid. She admitted that she'd started using the steroid just a few weeks before the Sydney Olympics in 2000. Jones gave back the 5 medals she won at those games. That included gold medals in the 100-meter, 200-meter, and 4,400-meter relay races. Jones had also won bronze medals in the long jump and the 4x100-meter relay. She was also banned from racing for 2 years, and all of her race results after September 1, 2000 were erased. Luckily though, based on the rules in place at the time of the competition, the Court of Arbitration for Sport decided in 2010 that Jones's relay teammates could keep their medals. Now for the entire Russian Federation. In case you didn't know, Russian athletes have been accused of doping at many Olympic Games. Recent evidence of widespread and persistent doping schemes made these accusations even stronger. That included the news that Russia used a sample swapping system to protect athletes who cheated in order to win more medals at the 2014 Winter Olympics in Sochi. That's why the International Olympic Committee did a little research of their own and decided these athletes needed to be vetted more thoroughly. But the organization let the governing bodies of each sport decide which athletes were eligible. CNN said that 271 of the 389 Russian athletes who were cleared were able to compete at the 2016 Summer Olympics in Brazil. Then, the whole Russian Federation wasn't allowed to compete at the Rio Paralympics by the International Paralympic Committee. Let's learn more about Niklas Backstrom in 2014. Niklas Backstrom, a Swedish hockey player, didn't play in the gold medal game at the 2014 Winter Olympics in Sochi because he tested positive for pseudoephedrine. Sweden really didn't like that the suspension was announced just a few hours before the game. Officials from the Olympics eventually found out that he hadn't taken a banned substance to try to get ahead in a race. The team doctor told the hockey player to take medicine, and the player wrote in the paperwork that he did. He got a medal and a warning from the World Anti-Doping Agency after that. It wasn't much of a consolation that a shorthanded Swedish team lost 3-0 to Canada and got second place. Not to mention, Andrea Radikant also in 2000. Looks like this was a big year for dope scandals in the Olympics. Andrea Radikant, a gymnast from Romania, tested positive for pseudoephedrine and was disqualified from the all-around gymnastics event at the 2000 Summer Olympics in Sydney. She was also stripped of the gold medal she had won. The International Olympic Committee banned the drug, which is a stimulant that's found in medicines like Sudafed. The International Gymnastics Federation, on the other hand, didn't ban it. treatment. She was 16 when she got pseudoephedrine from a team doctor in cold medicine. The doctor was then banned from the next 2 Olympic Games. Raducanu had won gold in the team event and silver in the vault before. After those events, she was tested and found to be clean, so she was able to keep the medals. Of course, she tried to get her all-around gymnastics gold medal back in 2015 by talking to the president of the International Olympic Committee, Thomas Bach. Sadly, the result wasn't changed. Next, Lance Armstrong, also in 2000. Lance Armstrong, an American cyclist who beat cancer and won his first Tour de France in 1999, became an instant symbol of strength. As his fame grew, so did the profile of Livestrong, the charity he started to help people with cancer. But Armstrong's 7 Tour de France titles from 1999 to 2005 were taken away in 2012. This happened after years of suspicion led to the discovery of a complex doping scheme within Armstrong's USPS team. Based on this evidence, the International Olympic Committee took away the bronze medal Armstrong won at the 2000 Summer Olympics in Sydney, Australia for the men's road time trial. Soon after that, in a short interview with Oprah Winfrey, Armstrong said for the first time in public that he was guilty. NPR said that he didn't give the medal back for another 8 months. And you can't really blame him either. Like, it's the Olympics, come on. Coming up, Rick DeMont all the way back in 1972. DeMont wasn't as lucky when he was 16 and won a gold medal for the U.S. in the 400-meter freestyle at the 1972 Munich Olympics. At the time, he was the youngest Olympic champion ever in this event. He wanted to win more gold, but his hopes were crushed when he tested positive for ephedrine, which was in his asthma medicine, which he had told Team USA doctors about before the Olympics. Because the team didn't tell the International Olympic Committee, DeMont lost his medal and was the youngest athlete ever to be punished for doping, even though it wasn't his fault. Thankfully, though, in 1973, he got himself together for a short time and went on to win a world title in Belgrade. He set a world record in the 400-meter and beat Brad Cooper of Australia, who'd been given his gold medal from the Munich Olympics. Finally, Ross Rebagliati in 1998. Every gold medal at the Olympics has its ups and downs. Usually, the excitement peaks when the winner is announced and the podium is filled. But Ross Rebagliati's story isn't like most Olympic tales. He was born in 1971 in the city of Vancouver, British Columbia. At age 15, he started snowboarding, and he won the Canadian and U.S. In 1990, there were amateur snowboard championships. In 1991, he went pro and won the Mount Baker banked slalom. Then, he won a gold medal in giant slalom at the Nagano Winter Olympics in 1998. After that, he tested positive for marijuana, and a number of Olympic boards voted to take the medal away from him. Cannabis wasn't on the International Olympic Committee's list of banned substances at the time, and it's not usually thought of as a drug that helps athletes do better. Thankfully, he quickly won his case at the Court of Arbitration for Sport and got to keep his medal. Rebagliati is now the face of a company that makes signs for marijuana dispensaries. That's a wrap for this video. Which scandal was the worst? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.